This is Dr. Jeff Davis, President of Lordship Investments and Director of New Way Community, reaching out to you today with 5 minutes to live by. This program looks at different topics. We're going to address things like business, insurance, real estate, finance, sales, Christianity, etc. We've got a whole lot of different things we look at. And so today I want to come to you from a book that I wrote called How to Become a Real Estate Investor. This book looks at the different ways that you can not only get into real estate investing, but things that you can do to help you to build a successful real estate investing career. How to become a real estate investor. So today I want to talk to you from this topic, how to master negotiating with sellers. How do you master becoming a negotiator with sellers? Now, keep this in mind. In real estate, typically you're going to be dealing with one or two or sometimes both of these type of people. Number one is you're going to be dealing with sellers, people who want to sell their properties. And number two, you're going to be dealing with buyers, people who want to buy the properties. And in each case, you're going to have to negotiate. Typically, they don't just come to you and give you deals and cooperate and do everything you want. So being able to negotiate is a very critical skill to have. Now, what does it mean to negotiate? Negotiate means that you've got something that you want and they've got something that they want, and you try to come to a middle ground. You try to find a way to be able to pull it together where it's win-win. I'm going to suggest to you that anytime you're negotiating with a seller, if he or she cannot win as well as you win, then don't do the deal. You should either do win-win or no deal. Why? Because the minute only one of you wins, somebody has to lose. And that's not a successful negotiation. You don't want to have it where people are always losing. You want people to win. And the only way to do that is to create an environment where it's a win-win situation. So for starters, when you're dealing with a seller, first of all, I'm going to suggest you have a script. The script is not something that you focus so much on learning word for word, but rather it helps to lead and guide you through the conversation. There are certain things that you need to know, questions you need to ask, and so a script helps you with that. But you want to always remember that everybody's different, that no two people are the same, and so every time you're negotiating with a seller, it's a new transaction. Men and women are not the same. Sometimes you can have let's say a great conversation with the husband and then you talk to the wife and everything goes south, or vice versa. So you want to be able to negotiate with people based on where they are, and you understand that even if you're dealing with a married couple, they're still two different individuals. I remember once having a photographer come by and took some pictures of my family and kids and stuff. They were trying to sell us this package. It was during the Christmas season. And I wasn't really all that much sold on the situation, so my wife was doing the majority of the talking. And as a mother, of course, she was talking about the poses and the kids and all of that good stuff. So she wasn't really sold by the salesperson, and he made the classic mistake salespeople can make. He thought that by pitting us against each other, he would win the sale. So he looks to me and he says, well, I'm looking at you and I see you're the man of the house. Does she make the final decision? And he never should have said that, because her whole demeanor changed. And she said, do you honestly think you're going to come into my house and sell me pictures of my children and bypass my opinion to get it done? You need to get out. And then she turned to me and basically told me to throw him out. So I kind of helped the guy, gently pushing him through the door and stuff. And then when I got him outside, he was like, oh man, I didn't mean to offend. What did I do? What did I do? And I just kind of patted him on the back and said, if you're going to do this for a living, you never go into anyone's house and try to pit spouses against each other. That is a surefire way to lose the sale. And lose the sale he did. So what you want to do is, when you're negotiating with sellers, is you want to find out what they need, what they're looking for, what's their objective, what's the goal, what's the time frame. You get all of this information, And then if there is someone else involved on the title that you need their signature as well, you have to find out the same thing from them. You want to make sure that either they're both on the same page, or if there's some additional things that need to be done, that you add that to the negotiating as well. Because once you cover everything that someone is looking for, you know what the expectation is, then you can address solutions. And you can begin to work with them to help them to see how they can accomplish their goal of moving or selling that house. Now, you want to make sure that you don't make the negotiation strictly about price, because price in and of itself is not going to sell the house. The thing you learn in real estate, learn this as a realtor, when I would talk to different sellers about selling their house, every single house will sell for the right price. There's always a price that you can set that someone will pay for your house. So you never have to think that, oh my God, the price is too low, that price is too high. There's always a price. The real question isn't whether or not you can find the price. The question is whether or not you can live with the price once it's found. And so you want to ask yourself that question. You want to look into that and see, can I do this? Is this something that's going to work for me? Now, after you have gotten all this information and you're pulling everything together, you have to be willing to do what's called closing questions. You've got to be able to ask them to make a decision, a commitment, a call to action. Okay, Mr. Seller, so I see that you're looking for $100,000 and you want to be able to move within the next 30 days. You don't want to do any repairs. And so you're hoping that we can put something together that allows you to be able to do those things. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. If I can come here and offer you all the things that you're looking for that we have discussed here, would you be willing to sign this contract right now before I leave? You'll have a time to review it. You'll have a time if you want an attorney to take a look at it. So it's not like you're signing something that there's no other options or recourse. You'll have recourse. But I guess what I want to know is, before I go out here and get to working for you, I want to make sure that we're both on the same page. So is that something you'd be willing to do? And then you shut up. If the seller is not willing to move, if they are hesitant or they've got some concerns, you need to know that. Sometimes they have concerns that you can answer. There are other times their concerns are things that you just can't answer. And so if you need to give them time, you do. But what you don't want to do is you never want to pressure sellers to make a decision that once you have left there, they're going to get with family and friends and change their mind. You have to be sure that the seller is sold on whatever it is that you've agreed to. They have to want it more than you do, even though you may be thinking about commissions, you may be thinking about, oh my God, this would be a great deal if I could put it together, yada, 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 yada. All of that's irrelevant. You want to make sure that they're sold so that they won't be unsold. Because trust me, once you're gone and they talk this over with other loved ones, friends and family members, there will be those who will tell them they made the wrong decision. And if they haven't sold themselves that it's the right decision, all they're going to be doing then is trying to find a way to get out of the deal. So when we're dealing with motivated people and we find out what the motivation is and we address the motivation ethically, honestly, and realistically, we position ourselves in such a way that we can actually help them to make the decisions they need to make. And if they need to get out of the deal, if they need to move forward with the deal, if they need to stay in the deal, you're in a much better position to negotiate. Working with sellers is not hard. If you let them know that you're there for them. I know it's kind of hard. I mean, like I said, I've been in real estate a long time. It's kind of hard when you're looking at a commission, you're looking at a fee that you would love to have. But you can't let that dictate. You have to put their needs first. You have to make sure that when you come out of it, it's a win-win situation for both of you. And you have to make sure that when you're done, people will have good things to say about you. The last thing you want is for people to give you a bad name or speak ill of you just because they feel like they've been taken advantage of. Do not get into this business to take advantage of people. Get into this business to help people. achieve their goals, realize their dreams. How to become a real estate investor. You can pick up a copy at www.nwcom.org. Again, that's www.nwcom.org. Or you can go to Amazon, look for books under Dr. Jeff Davis and Jeff Davis. Pick up a copy. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me here. And until the next time we meet, this is Dr. Jeff Davis wishing you a day filled with both happiness and success.